A lot of you know that I've been talking about the Homo Sapiens diet for quite some time. And the reason for this is that it is a concern for me that people are not doing what they should be doing with their Homo Sapiens bodies. So I started writing a book about this, which should be finished in the next few days. But the more I'm researching about Homo Sapiens bodies, the more I realize how much trouble humanity is in when it comes to diet. So really what we need to do is just get back to basics. Our organs are being overloaded with toxins and all sorts of things that they weren't designed to process. Your pancreas was designed to take a load of about maybe 1 or maximum 2 meals per day. People are eating way more than that. And within those way more meals that they're eating, they're adding all these toxins and sugar and all sorts of things. So really what we need to do, folks, we need to get back to basics. We've gone from foraging to fast food, and it's going to kill humanity. It's getting worse, and it's getting worse rapidly. And if you think you're immune to it, you're not. The thing is, unless you really understand the food industry and their little plan to make profit out of you, you really are at risk. You won't be able to make it through your life in a completely healthy state if you do not understand the food industry and their ingredients. It is way, way worse than anybody would expect. And it is much worse for you than it is being told to you. What needs to happen is people need to get an understanding of what labels mean, what those things on the labels are, so that when you walk past a fast food outlet, you literally look at it in disgust. When you see a chocolate cake on the table of a young 5-year-old at her birthday party or his birthday party, you look at it and think, oh my goodness, like what are they feeding these kids? That is the right mindset. It's not a radical mindset. A radical mindset would be going, let's feed our kids this chocolate cake, which has food coloring, preservatives, toxins, and loaded with sugar, and it's probably not even real chocolate or cocoa in there. It is that bad, peeps. I really, really need to reiterate what needs to happen. Everything needs to start going back 10,000 years if we want to survive well in this lifetime. So, when my book comes out, I will be making an announcement about that, and I invite you to have a look at it. It's going to be good, and it's going to be very educating as to what we're supposed to be eating. And it really is just getting back to basics. The other thing that also gets under my skin is why we think we have to take pills, pharmaceuticals, and why we think we always need to have tests and blood tests and all sorts of different kinds of weird tests that weren't around even 100 years ago. Now, one may think that, wow, we've had all these medical advances. Then why are people more sick today than they were 100 years ago? The medical advances may be prolonging things and keeping the person's blood pressure under wraps for a little bit, but it's not handling that blood pressure. And you might also think, but yes, people's lifespan is longer than it was 100 years ago. Yeah, because we were dying of disease then, and we didn't have the lifestyle appliances that we have today. So people weren't washing their hands, firstly. Secondly, we didn't have refrigerators to put our food in. We didn't have freezers to freeze our food, and all of these kinds of things. So that was the actual deal. Also, life was wilder then. So it was not uncommon for someone to get killed by a wild animal or fall off a cliff or something like that. Nowadays, everything's all about health and safety. So these are the factors that make people live longer. not the medical industry. It is not the medical industry that's prolonging life. They are just prolonging these long-term illnesses that have suddenly crept into our lives in the last probably 40 to 50 years. And the pharmaceutical industry rubbing their hands together with us, feeding you their drugs. So, you think you know who the biggest drug dealer or drug pusher in the world is? Again, it's the pharmaceutical industry and their pushers of doctors. So, I would never put my life in the hands of a medical doctor. I would never put my health in the hands of a medical doctor. Look at them. They're the most unhealthy people that you ever come across. I do want to have them around if I break a bone or something like that. Then I get it. But that's as far as it usually goes. So, if you want to get healthy, really get